Welcome back to the Daily Lift. Jesus says in John 15:5, "He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing." The Bible has so much to say about us as Christians bearing fruit. And it's clear that Jesus is the nutrient source so that we can produce that fruit. But what does it mean to bear fruit? And how do we produce 30 or 60 or even 100-fold, as Jesus says? Well, let's look at some passages and see if we can gain some insight. So first, Solomon says, "The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who wins souls is wise." John the Immerser, he tells the Pharisees and the Sadducees to bear fruit worthy of repentance. Jesus says, "For a good tree does not bear bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. For every tree is known by its fruits." And Paul urges us to practice the fruits of the Spirit, which are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. And he says, against these, there is no law. He also says to be filled with the fruit of righteousness. And so from these passages and many others, it's clear that in this context, the fruit means our actions. So in order for a plant to produce fruit, it will need some things. It needs some nutrients, it needs some sunlight, and it needs some water. And it has to do the rest. And it has to reach full maturity. It has to flower and attract pollinators to cross-pollinate. And the fruit has to set and grow to completion. And the reason that it produces fruit is to make those seeds and multiply the next generation. And it also provides nutrients and nourishment for all that consume it. We as Christians are given the necessities to not only survive, but to thrive. We've been given understanding and intelligence. We've been given talents and skills, as well as a roadmap to reach our eternal destination. The rest is up to us. We are called to grow and progress towards maturity. That means we have to flower and cross-pollinate, to interact with other Christians in Christian fellowship, to interact with the lost in evangelism, and to interact with all, doing good deeds, being helpful and useful to others. Remember, the primary purpose of a plant is to produce seed and grow the next generation. So we too have to plant seeds, and we have to water them, and we have to make them produce more useful, faithful Christians. And remember that the only way that we can bear much fruit is to abide in Jesus. So what does it mean to abide in Jesus or to bear fruit? Well, we have to drink deeply the living water that Jesus offers. We have to grow by taking in the bread of life. We have to bear fruit and provide that nourishing spiritual food. Plant those seeds and nurture the plants and bring them up to also produce fruit. And then we have to rinse and repeat season after season. So I want to encourage you to go out there, plant those seeds, produce those fruits of righteousness. And as always,